Who are these Democrats that are giving President Joe Biden pressure? And what kind of symptoms did he experience now that he has tested positive of COVID-19? Now, is Joe Biden going to quit his presidential bid because of COVID-19? We will be telling you in this video all about this. We'll try to give you answers to these questions. So guys, according to the statement that came from the White House, President Joe Biden has tested positive of COVID-19. And this is not the first time that the president has tested positive of this COVID-19 problem. So President Joe Biden is facing new questions over his candidacy in the November elections, which his campaign events currently are on pause due to the COVID-19 infection. So who are these Democrats that are causing Joe Biden pressure? Now, the two top Democrats in the United States Congress are, number one, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and secondly, the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. These two individuals have both reported to have met Joe Biden individually, and they have expressed concern over his bid for the White House. Another individual who is putting pressure on Biden is Nancy Pelosi, the former House Speaker, who has also privately told him that he cannot beat Donald Trump in the November election. These are reports according to the CNN. So President Biden's re-election attempt was already being buffeted by growing dissent among the top Democrats. This is after his disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump last month. So announcing his COVID infection on Wednesday, Mr. Biden's press secretary said that Biden was facing mild symptoms. He would isolate at his home in Delaware while carrying out all of his duties fully, said Karine Jean-Pierre. She added that the president was vaccinated and boosted. He has tested positive for COVID twice before. Mr. Biden was seen earlier in the day visiting supporters in Las Vegas and spoke at an event. He was forced to cancel a speech later in the day at Unidos US, a Latino civil rights organization. It marked a sudden and deliberating end to a trip that was supposed to see Mr. Biden hitting the campaign trail with full force, after the pause sparked by the attempted assassination on his rival, Trump. The president has spent time in Las Vegas trying to revive his appeal among the Hispanic voters, with whom his poll lead has slipped since 2020. Later on Wednesday, he was seen moving slowly and cautiously up the steps. That is the steps of Air Force One. He was not wearing a mask. As he boarded the plane, he was heard saying, "Good, I feel good." So before the announcement of Mr. Biden's infection on Wednesday, reporters on the Las Vegas Strip said they had been rushed off the site of the campaign stop at the Mexican restaurant at the city's airport following the announcement. The restaurant had been ablaze with color, with Mexican art and guitars hanging from the walls and banners draped from the ceiling. One wall was adorned with Biden-Harris posters. As ceiling fans swirled on low speed and Latino pop played quietly from the speakers, Mr. Biden walked in via the kitchen door, which was flanked by the Secret Service detail, and entered the main dining area. He shook hands with diners who had clearly been prepared sometime in advance for his arrival, kissed, and had selfies taken with others. So the president seemed somewhat stiffer and appeared slower than the day before, when he had given an energized performance in a speech to a national civil rights group. Commenting later in the day of his COVID infection, the president, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, said Mr. Biden had presented with upper respiratory symptoms, including a running nose and a cough, and had been given the first dose of Paxlovid. His doctor stated that he felt fine during the first event of the day, but later tested positive. Mr. Biden posted on X to thank everyone for the well wishes and said he would work to get the job done for the American people while in recovery. In another post on his account, he stated, "I am sick," before going to write of Elon Musk and his rich buddies trying to buy this election. And if you agree, pitch is here. The tweet pointed to a donation portal. So in reaction to the pressure that is coming from the Democrats for President Biden to resign, the president has reacted by saying that he cannot step aside only on serious medical grounds. So what do you think about the whole thing? Do you think President Biden should step aside because of COVID-19? Or should he continue to face on former President Donald Trump in the next election? Let me know that in the comment section.